up, guys? Welcome to 137 of the Game Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Brimstone. As tonight, we got one other guest tonight to help us out. Get some topics tonight. We kind of skipped last week's episode, so I wanted to go ahead and sort of make it up for you guys tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself, people.
Hey, I'm gay.
Yeah, that I'm sure that helped quite a bit.
Yo, what up? This is RevTech.
All right. So what did you guys want to talk about tonight? And Ryth, I know you said you wanted something.
Can I be heard?
No, you can't. You're not allowed.
Oh no, I'm seeing if my mic's working.
Yeah, I know. We hear you just fine, Rev.
Cool.
Blood for blood, God.
Oh my god.
All right. So tonight we got some topics. Like I said, we got some interesting points to talk about. I know, Rev, you're looking up some topics, and you sent me some. We have the Sony PlayStation 5 specs matter to PC gamers, Ryzen Radeon. So the PS5 stuff. We got a 10 terabyte Western Digital external for $160, which is actually a hell of a deal. We have a 1 terabyte ADATA fucking USB drive. No, SSD, and then the new iPhone XE. What would you like to talk about first, boys?
Randall can go first.
At this moment in time, I actually do not know what I want to talk about first.
Is there anything that has been interesting to you that you want to talk about, or no?
The price of the PS5 just in general is the price of that actually been confirmed?
The rumor price for that, well, there was a PaySpend link by a credible leaker, $500 to $550.
Jesus.
But they're gonna have two models. One's gonna have an SSD model, and that's gonna be all digital. And then they're gonna have another one, that's gonna be a physical base, which is the entry level will be $500, which will be the physical based one I'm talking about. And I'm assuming that one is gonna be the SSHD model, 2 terabyte. I'm assuming the hard drive in that's going to be we know from the Xbox One X, it was a Seagate SSHD Barracuda. And those are pretty fast in itself for a hard drive, hybrid drive.
So this is
the SSD model, I don't know, Mark Cerny in that article, or when he talked to Wired.com, was saying that it was faster than the PC SSD, which makes no sense to me. Why would he claim that? When I guess they're working with somebody, it could be Samsung, but I highly doubt it. I think it would be like somewhat of the range of Toshiba, who they've gone with, Toshiba, and what is it, the other one, Hitachi?
Yeah.
For their stuff, so I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. The PS5 specs don't look too bad on paper, really. You're getting a Zen 3 architecture with DDR4 and GDR6 memory.
Yeah.
It looks very promising, but that price doesn't look... I just don't understand the price. That price just makes no sense to me.
Well, wasn't the PS4 when it first came out around $400, right?
Yeah, it was $399 at launch. The Xbox was it $500 at the time, Brimstone? Was it $500?
No, I barely paid $350 for mine when I got mine, and that was with the Halo Master Chief Collection. So I would say $4 at most. I know I think we talked about this the other night, Rev. Like the most expensive console to be released, from what I'm to understand, in this generation of gamers is the PS3. And that thing launched for over $600. So there's that lovely piece of tech. Oh yeah.
Well, that was a lovely piece of tech that was what was it? A gouge in your wallet.
Yep, a gouge in your wallet that had a lot of people promising all kinds of stuff for it, and they never came through until towards the end when the PS4 was out.
They still haven't fully come through with the whole PS backwards compatibility, have they?
No,
No.
not on the. No, that's all due emulation. Supposedly, the PS2 stuff and the PS3 stuff was all supposed to be done under emulation.
Mm-hmm.
So the original price tag of the PS3 in 2006 was $522.
Still damn expensive.
Yeah. And the PS4 and the Xbox One, I was actually in the right. The PS4 came in at $399. The Xbox came in at $350 or $450. They were close to 500 launch model. So I was right about that. Now that's expensive because they did drop the price eventually of the Xbox One eventually.
Oh yeah, they undercut it. That's when I picked it up. So
Yeah. So you got yours at what, $350
something like that. Yeah, it was at Target.
What was that? Did you get a game bundle with that too?
Yeah, it was the Halo Master Chief bundle.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this special edition Halo console.
No,
Okay.
no, just a basic bundle. 500 gig
Now
hard
the-
drive.
Now the other rumor is with this PlayStation 4, which PlayStation 5 I should say, that they've debunked was the DualShock 5 controller having a camera built into it with a touchscreen. Supposedly,
Fuck that.
they debunked all that.
I was gonna say
But
that'd
my
be a
thing-
hell of a ripoff.
Well, here's my thing is, what about ray tracing? They're promoting 8K and ray tracing. Like, Mark Cerny's out of his mind. I'm not buying this console. $550. I'm not buying the console.
For $550, you could just go out. You could spend an extra couple of hundred and get yourself a nice 2080. Be happy with it.
Yeah. You can go buy yourself a Radeon 7. There you go. Radeon 7.
Yeah.
I just don't think that. Well, for me, the only console I would two consoles I would go for in next generation would probably be the Switch Pro and the Xbox, whatever they're gonna call it, because I have so much library on my Xbox, it's not even funny, and I would like to have it carry over to the next generation. I know me and you, Brimstone, have been talking about that. Like, the Xbox is interesting because we have so much library, and it would make sense to buy the next generation at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, Levon, what's going on? No, we have not discussed any of the Sony exclusives because I don't know of any that I could say I truly care about. So
the next PlayStation exclusive to come out is Days Gone, and I just really don't care. I've seen the commercial. I just really don't care.
I'm actually interested in the next article right now, and that is the iPhone XE.
The iPhone XE.
This looks like a sexy beast. That's a lot of cameras for this little guy, dude. It's like, Jesus. Like, holy crap.
Well, the rumor is that it's going to have the same cameras as the iPhone X and XS. So 2 cameras or 3 cameras. They haven't decided. Leaks are saying 3, and then they're saying 2. So
I just I love how small this thing is, dude. Oh.
Why would you have more than 2 cameras?
So you could have more dynamic range in your pictures and your videos. So like you'll have DSLR quality.
One is a ultra wide, one is a regular camera, and the other one's a super ultra wide. So you can get that bigger DSLR kind of picture, like with the HDR. My thing is with the iPhone XE, or they're going to call it the XE, Apple better not price this phone. I'm telling you this now. They better not price it at
$900.
I would say if they price it over $7, that's just a ripoff. But if they come in at $500, $600, and you're getting 2 cameras, 3 cameras on this thing, the same kind of chamfered edges on the side like the old iPhones are, and they come in multi different colors, and wireless charging and everything, I'd be alright with that.
There you go. There you go. I'm looking forward to this little guy. I really love.
What up,
my
Levon
iPhone.
Kaysen? How you doing, Levon?
I love my iPhone S7, my iPhone 7 Plus S7. Jesus Christ, it's a pretty good phone actually. I've really enjoyed it. It's stable as fuck. Probably it's funny because like Landon gave it to me right like last year or whatever, and it's been running like a champ since. Like I've never had any issues with it. It keeps charges all day. And that's after the first year. Like, that's the crazy part to me. Now, you go into my old S7s, my S6s. Bro, like, those batteries were dead before the end of the first year. Like, they were burned out already. And that was just basic usage.
Well, I'll say this to you. I've been an iPhone user since the start of iPhone. Yeah. It's got to be, what is that now? 15 years? Is it 15 or is it 10? 2007 when they first released the first iPhone.
It's been like 12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah.
So I've had almost every single iPhone except the 7. And except the 7 and the SE. I haven't had that one. But I've owned every iPhone. Well, I haven't owned the XS or the XR. I would love if I could have waited, I would have gotten the XR instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I would have just waited at the time, because I got my iPhone and my X, I got it, and then when I got it, they finally leaks started coming out for the iPhone XR and the XS, and I was disappointed. But don't get me wrong, I love my iPhone. My iPhone is a closed ecosystem, and it does everything I want it to do. Yeah. I could text everybody, iMessage, like you get it immediately. It's not like I have to wait for a response.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about the iPhone. Like I can actually see when you read a message and you're about to reply to me. That's an awesome thing to me. You don't get that on Android though. That's the one thing I will say in this thing. And Face ID is just an amazing thing. I like Touch ID, and Face ID is like the best thing since sliced bread. But if this phone is true, if the iPhone SE2 is true, and this is they're coming out with this year, every person that's told me that they wanted the iPhone SE2, you're getting your wish, and I see a lot of my friends upgrading to it.
Yeah, I might
hands
upgrade
down.
to it since I got mine for free. I mean,
you could probably trade up your phone you have and get credit on the next one.
I mean, they were already giving away when I was at the Apple Store like $200 for a trade up.
Yeah, it's funny. iPhones hold their value.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my mom could trade.
Either way, you could sell your iPhone and make like $400 on it, regardless of whatever age it is. Minimum is $400, and that's even on an iPhone 4.
Well, that's the same on the iPads. The iPads just hold their value too. Like my mom's iPad Air 2, she could sell it right now and make $400 or $500.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's how much value iPhones last. Now, if you go sell an Android phone, well,
$30, and you spent like
$30. Yeah.
But
well, even
I was gonna say it, and what sucks is I like the Android OS. Like I really do. I think the Android OS is pretty awesome. I just wish it was more focalized. You know what I mean? Like it was more focused on, because like when you go to the iPhone stuff, like their actual OS, it's not varied amongst all the devices. You know what I mean? Like it's all central. Where on the Android, it's like this one has, nougat, or this one has cookie, or this one has Oreo. It's like there's all these different Android variants. It's like Linux for PC, dude. Like there's not one centralized hub.
Well, me and you have had this conversation before, and me and you've kind of we have agreed on this. I think what they should do with Android, and this is just me, they should make stock Android for all devices. Windowlize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it a Windows operating system. Like, if you're going to put our software onto your phone, you have to, like Windows does with any laptop or any manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
they should literally make requirements. And because here's half of the problem with Android. Half of the problem is it's not the Android software problem. It's the skins that are over it. Like if you go buy a Samsung phone, what are you getting hit with? Nature OS or TouchWiz, aka TouchWiz, which was a problem in itself. And then you have so much bloatware. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On an Android phone itself. Now, I would be on Android if they would get their shit together when it comes to tablets and the phone communicating together.
Yeah.
Because what Apple, what you get is when you get in the ecosystem, you have, when you buy an app on the iPhone, you also get the tablet. Or if you have a tablet and a phone combination, you can pick up your phone call on your iPad.
Yeah.
They like harmonize together, where Android is you just don't know what you're getting. You don't know if that OS is on the tablet a phone operating system that's been custom, or this, that, and the third.
Well, Samsung was using not even Android. They were using a custom Linux-based software called Fedora, and that's later. People were finding out that's what was killing the batteries.
Milady.
So like, you're right. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know if you're going to be getting a full-size PC OS, fucking shrunk down into the phone, or.
Well, I've gotten into arguments with people over the whole Android thing. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but here's my thing. Android's a mixed bag. Like, you can go sideload apps, you can do all this customization. That's great. You can do all this customization.
That's what we liked about Android, and what we don't like about it is how fucking crazy some of these developers become when it comes to being with a certain brand. It's like. Some brands have better versions of the fucking Android system than others, It's like, why?
Well, I'm giving Apple credit here because they're protecting the end user. And they've closed down the Apple Store. They don't put things on there unless it gets scrubbed by Apple first. Where Android...
I agree with, yeah.
With Android, you just don't know what you're getting yourself into when it comes to software. Like, you can load an app and think it's legitimate, and it could be malware. And then there goes your whole phone.
Yep.
And we're finding out about Android now that all these malware programs and antivirus programs and all these task manager programs that we used to do back in the day with the Evos, and thinking that it would help us with battery life, it was all just malarkey and false. It didn't help us because
they were data mining us.
They were proving now that this whole malware programs on our phones weren't even scrubbing for malware to begin with, or antivirus at all. So the reason I went away from Android, I used to rock two phones. The reason I went away from Android, there's just too many plaguing problems, and you're never really getting updated consistently. On Apple, you're always getting hit with updates, especially if you're part of the beta program. If you're part of the beta program with Apple, the beta updates are better than the standard updates.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got part of the beta yet.
No, still can't figure out my login. Having issues with my login. I'm trying to get it worked out, though.
Well, I'm not trying to make the Game Talks into an Apple versus Android thing. I mean, my thing is I'm always going to stick to iPhones because I've spent so much money over time. Mm-hmm. And I have so many people that have iPhones like yourself. And it's just so much easier to communicate with people. Now, when I had an Android phone, because I did this before I got my X, I got a cheap Android phone thinking I get by. For the meantime, when my iPhone 8 broke, that's how I ended up with the iPhone X. You would think that Android worked just easy peasy. When everybody owns iPhones in your family and friends, it's really difficult. People are just like, what happened to the iMessage thing? Like, iMessage is a huge deal to a lot of people. And then when you go to Android, it's just like you miss all those features, like like when you send me a text, I can read it and you see that I read it at a certain time. Yeah, those features are just so nice.
All right, we can move. If we're done with this, we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Best Buy is selling a 10 terabyte Western Digital external hard drive for an insane $189. $160. Now, this is actually a really good buy on one thing and one thing only. If this does not come with a power cord and it's only powered by USB 3.0. If that's it, then that's it. Like, this is a great deal. I've always had bad luck with those old school Western Digitals that you had to have like a power adapter to it.
I think this one is a power adapter version. I've had something similar to this, like a MyBook. Yeah, I think so. Now there's a 4 terabyte here that you're seeing on the side here. Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, there's another one up there for drive, 10 terabyte external drive up there that's selling for $180. That's not bad either. There's a 10. Yeah, there.
Yeah, it's a
Western.
This is a Western Digital, is it? And the other one's I'm guessing a Seagate, maybe? No.
They're all Western Digitals from what I
okay.
see on your screen, what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That one, I think that one's the USB 3.0 that you're talking about, just standard.
Oh, this is just a standard 3.0? This isn't like with a stupid power thing to it?
No, that one's just the USB 3.0.
I always had, here's my problem with the power adapters, right? Like, I've always had syncing issues. When you use that for your console, it power cycles with your console, but the power stays on. So
hold on, let me relay Von Kaysen's comment. iPhone is my main phone, and Android is for my tablet. Gotcha. That's an interesting combination, buddy.
Right?
So,
no, go ahead.
Go for it. No. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, syncing issues with power bricks that go to the hard drives. Corrupted my data on my Xbox a number of times. So I just got fucking tired of it. I stay away from the power anything that requires like a power brick to it.
Gotcha. I don't know. My external hard drive's a Western Digital, but mine's through the USB 3.0. 3.0, the old school 3.0 cable. Which I'm hoping with the next generation consoles, Brimstone, can we say this? USB Type-C.
That would be good.
For better transfer speeds.
Well, yeah, it would be good. I mean, I'm right
there
with you, dude.
Like better transfer speeds. That would be great. Because on the Xbox, if you ever transferred anything from the main drive to your external drive, it takes for days. You sit there for days.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
I almost.
Oh, and one thing I didn't say about the PlayStation thing. Let's hope the download speeds are better.
Oh God! Don't even get me started with that crap.
With all these consoles, let's keep our fingers crossed and let's have the better download speeds. Because it takes. Actually, the Xbox is faster. If we want to get honest,
It
the
is.
Xbox is faster than the PlayStation.
Yeah, no, it is. I'll give Xbox its due. Yeah, it's definitely better.
Well, I'll say this: the PlayStation is faster than BattleNet. BNet is faster than a BNet download. I will say that because BNet takes for days. If you're updating your game, it's terrible.
Well, you know what's funny, right? So Call of Duty, yes, it's like that. You remember when I last downloaded Call of Duty? It took forever, right?
That's what happened with me with Overwatch with that 6 gig download. It took forever.
But see, and that's the thing I was gonna say was like when it comes to their own games like Overwatch or StarCraft or something, that doesn't take long at all. Like I'm okay with that.
No.
But when it comes to COD, for some reason, yeah, it takes frickin' forever and a day.
That's a good tech deal though for 10 terabyte. If you're like on an Xbox or a PlayStation, that's all you play.
Yeah.
Is those two either or, and that's all you desire. I mean, a 10 terabyte would just set you over the top. You'd be good for next generation as well.
Yeah.
If they decide to put USB 3.0 or 3.1 on there, I don't want to have to go buy an adapter just to plug my old external hard drive in, you know?
Yeah.
That would be just terrible.
Right, anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, didn't you have your thing you wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, so no doubt you guys have heard about the scandal about Sekiro. people asking for an easier difficulty to the game.
Oh yeah, the easy mode bullshit, right? Like I've heard something about that.
This
Yeah,
is the first time I've heard it.
yeah. No, this is what
Fellas, educate me on the matter.
So, Sekiro is a From Software game. From Software is the guys who made like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, those games, right?
Yeah, I know, and Activision is behind this one with From Software.
Yeah.
For what I know.
So, then obviously it's going to be a difficult game.
Right.
And people are complaining, even though I played it and it's easier than Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 3 isn't a hard game.
And what system did you play it on?
PS4.
Right on.
But I played it at my friend's house, and it was not even that difficult. People are complaining for an easy mode for it. And I wanted to ask you guys what you guys think about that.
I'll let you go first, Brimstone.
I think it's sad that in order for people to enjoy games, they have to have an easier setting. That's what I think. Like, they can't just enjoy video games for the sake of enjoying video games and having fun with it. They feel like they have to have something that's catered to their skill level or to their wants and needs. I mean, I think it's just sad, personally. I think it's kind of pathetic. I think, personally, that this is more of a ploy for game reviewers to get a shortcut on their job. That's what I think.
I'll say this. I kind of take this as the old school mantra of things. Kids watching, teenagers, we had a thing called a cartridge. We put it in the thing, and guess what? We'd play games that didn't have saves. Okay, when you died, you went back to the very beginning, and you did it over and over again, thousands of times. I think a lot of you really need to go and go buy an older console and go experience what we experienced as kids. Called when you die, you restart. There was no easy mode, and if you died, you died. Like, there was no difficulty settings in most of the games that I played back in the day. And to answer about that game itself, on the PS4, Xbox One, or PC, it's a beautiful game. It's meant to be hard. I played a lot of those games from Software. I even played Demon Souls. And Demon Souls in itself was freaking difficult as all hell. And I probably broke a controller playing it. But if you guys can't beat a hard game, that's on you. That's not on me. I mean, at the end of the day, each to their own. No game should be easy. And games should be a challenge because it does help your brain in a lot of aspects. That's what I'll say. And I do agree with what Brimstone was saying about the whole game reviewer thing being easier on them to push out reviews. But to me, I'd rather somebody play the full game and play the full game and give me an honest review than try to do it on easy mode. Because what am I gaining by you doing an easy thing on easy mode? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a rush review.
Yeah, it's just a rush review, or you can have others that, don't do their legitimate reviews and steal somebody else's,
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I kind of see both sides of this whole thing about the Sekiro argument. I see the idea of adding the easier mode for people who are, maybe either not as good at the game, or maybe even possibly people who are mentally challenged and such. Hell, I was watching a YouTube video the other day. I watched a quadriplegic beat the hardest boss in the game without taking a hit. And I'm sorry, if he can do that, I think it's well fair enough to ask that somebody just take their time and learn the game.
Yeah.
I just think people nowadays in this day and age want a handout. And
Yeah.
when were video games ever a handout? I mean, me and Brimstone, we played on what? Sega Genesis, SNESs, original Nintendos, arcade machines. Back in the day, there was no saves. We didn't save. That came later on down the road. When you died, you started over.
Remember the codes that you had to have? Like, Nintendo would, So instead of a save, you had to type in a serial code to start off where you left off in Castlevania.
Yep.
Stuff like
Remember
that.
that.
Like that was crazy shit back in the day, man. That was for its time. That was the way we did shit. Like, I mean,
Yep. And then Nintendo developed on their Super Nintendo. They developed a little bit of a chip within the cartridge itself for save data, supposed back in the day, and that was great. And then Sega kind of advanced it with kind of. Was it Sega that started memory cards?
Yeah, it was Sega. Sega started
Was
with
Sega?
the Dreamcast save with the that little that.
Was it the Genesis or was it the Master System that had the save?
I thought it was the Dreamcast that had the save. You had to
I
plug
remember
that little memory card into the controller. Remember?
Well, it was Sony that started out the whole memory card chip thing. But I'm remembering, was it back in the day that Sega had the whole saved cartridge thing before Nintendo did? I could be getting that all wrong. My history.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm becoming an old fart. I'm starting to forget what happened back in the day
Yeah.
with games. But all I'm saying is, if you think games are hard, and you need your hand holded, I guess we're getting into this day and age, I guess, with the whole entitlement era, generation and selfie era and whatnot, I guess this is going to become a thing.
Yeah.
Because we all need a handout and easy shit, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I personally play video games for the challenge. If a game is difficult enough, I just either crank it up to its maximum difficulty. If it's not hard enough, then I usually don't play it.
Well, I usually play most of my games on normal, and then if I feel like I've beaten the game on normal, then I'll play it again on the next hardest or the hardest difficulty because I want to try it out, just get it over with, and then I'll play on the hardest difficulty as a second run through.
Yeah.
Or unless I'm doing achievement hunting and I really am interested in that, and I haven't done that in years, and go for all the achievements and play it on the hardest difficulty. Which I did for Gears of War 3, and I didn't earn all the achievements, and it was harder than shit. And I broke a controller playing that game. So,
Woo!
Don't worry about it. One of my friends broke a headset over losing a game of Little Big Planet Golf to me.
Let's see. Levon says, to the topic we were talking about just right now, the way I used to do things with saves with the memory cards with PS1 and PS2. Same, man. Crash Bandicoot, man. I would have to do my brain in if they didn't have saves.
But you know what was terrible about those memory cards back in the day, man? They went bad after a while. Like, you'd have all your data on that thing, and say, like, after a year or two of you not touching it, and you go back and you want to play those games, guess what? They were pretty much done for.
Hey, you remember back in the day when the PS1 first came out, and we had this L-shaped connector for 4 players?
Oh, and yeah, and it blocked, like, the other ports.
Yeah, when your friend would, if you're at a friend's buddy's house and you're playing, an intense game, and he runs over the wires, by mistake or trips over the cable, the whole L connector would break.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Sony didn't really think that out very properly. That one terabyte drive right there, $90. That's a steal.
1 terabyte SSD? Yeah, that's a damn good deal.
SSD's nuts.
Oh ho 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 ho.
Oh ha ha ha! He's a wonderful chocolate man. Oh ha ha ha!
What the hell?
You not seen White Chicks before?
Yeah, I have.
I've seen White Chicks, but what the fuck was that?
That's the scene. That's the scene where they're in if anybody, spoiler alert in Games Talk podcast, but if you've not seen White Chicks, is when they're writing a letter to the Dear Royal Hamptons, and the police chief comes out and he goes, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." He goes, "You look like Denzel Washington." you get that opening scene, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Man. A-Data. I wish, you know what, dude? I wish this was out way back in 2008 when I built My old i7 920.
You know what I wish?
I wish this was back then, because I paid like over $200 for that SSD back in the day.
I wish Samsung and AData and companies like that would come sponsor my channel. Yeah?
Let me get that sponsorship.
$90 for us and about what, $300 Canadian?
Now more like 1 million.
Well, I mean, look at the prices of memory now, though. Like that's such a good deal, dude. Like, remember back in the day when we first like started doing SSD shit for our computers? Like, that shit used to be so goddamn expensive. I remember when 100 megs, or no, 100 gigs would cost you almost $300-$400 because SSDs back then were like state of the art.
You remember when there wasn't really main name brands for SSDs yet?
Mm-hmm.
I still have my original SSD, and it was a SanDisk 60 gig drive.
Back when OCZ was a thing?
Well, OCZ is still a thing, but it's under Toshiba now. Like a lot of these companies back in the day, like Antec, okay? Back in the day when we were building PCs back in 2009, Antec was the shit. Now look at them now. They're not
Back
so
when
much
every
the shit.
single game was like 2 gigs.
I miss those
Oh,
days.
dude, I remember.
I miss those days so much.
If you really want to go back into the PC history, let's talk about DDR2 and how difficult that was on Windows XP, because you had to get certain RAM so you didn't fucking blue screen of death on XP, and then certain PCI lanes. Remember that, Brimstone, with the Wi-Fi cards?
Yeah.
Certainly, if you didn't put it in the right slot, you blue screen to death.
God. What are you playing, Rife?
Fallout New Vegas.
And this is why Mom doesn't fucking love you.
What? What do you mean?
He's not playing the best game ever, Fallout 76.
Exactly my point. That's
My bad. I'm
He's
sorry.
got to play. He's got to play the best game ever, and he's got to drink that with his Coca-Cola rum. You know, the rip-off rum that's supposed to be in a nice glass bottle, and it wasn't.
Excuse me,
Actually,
sir,
love
but
me a nice plastic bottle.
Excuse me, sir. There's nothing wrong with having plastic with your glass. Thank you. It's called preservatives.
Preservatives.
It is called Cancer by 23.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you know, we should touch on. We should talk about. Me and you've been talking about this. Adaptive Sync is, aka FreeSync, is now available to NVIDIA cards.
That's cool.
If you didn't know that.
So I got a question about that. So, like, are monitor makers no longer putting in the capsulets that they were charging from NVIDIA?
Okay,
Remember
so
that?
this is
like those NVIDIA capsules were expensive. They were like almost $1,000 a pop.
So what's happening is with free. So anybody knows this. If you guys remember HD DVD versus Blu-ray, right now there's a competition going on between G-Sync and FreeSync, and right now FreeSync has got the market at the moment. And the reason why NVIDIA went the way they went is because, well, everybody I know has a FreeSync monitor at this point. Like, you could buy a FreeSync monitor on AliExpress or Wish or Alibaba or whatever for literally $120. A FreeSync monitor with a TN panel, a no-name brand, but you could buy one. So they're really throwing you FreeSync monitor left and right. And Intel's even going to be using with their new GPU line, they're going to be using Adaptive Sync, aka FreeSync. And guess who gets all the revenue from that? AMD does, because they own FreeSync technology, aka Adaptive Sync.
Sorry if I spooked anyone, by the way.
I'm just going to say this. I think FreeSync is going to become the norm, and G-Sync is going to be phased out in the future. I think FreeSync is going to be the thing. And you see it now because most manufacturers that are making TVs, Sony has come out, Samsung has come out, Vizio has come out and said they're going to be using FreeSync going forward on all their TVs. Because Vizio, Sony, I think Samsung are all making gaming monitor TVs now, because now because Asus just launched their TV monitors, supposedly 42 inches. If you guys haven't seen Linus Tech Tips do his thing with it. So FreeSync is gonna be pretty much the Blu-ray of this whole war that's going on with G-Sync and FreeSync. And if you haven't used FreeSync before, go out and buy a monitor and put it on your Xbox One S or X, and there you go. Even Sony's even saying their next console is going to use FreeSync going forward. So,
What if I don't have an Xbox S or X?
if you have an NVIDIA graphics card right now with the latest drivers, game-ready drivers, which we're not going to get into my whole disdain with NVIDIA right now because they have separated their drivers. You have to pick and decide when you load their drivers what drivers you want to load. The creator-ready drivers or the game-ready drivers, so you get screwed at the drive-through way. And that's why that's why you've been hearing me push AMD, because they don't tell you what they give you the whole driver. They don't give you half of a pie. They give you the whole thing.
I guess you could say that it was a drive-by. I'm sorry. I saw the opportunity and I took it.
Isn't that what you said about your... Never mind, I can't say that out loud.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
Normally I would say I'm confused, but I really don't want to know this time.
I mean,
but I will say,
it goes along with what you were saying before, Riot, when you said no means yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't want to go into
do we want to talk about this Borderlands 3? We want to talk about Borderlands 3 in this
go for it. Yeah.
I mean,
the whole
really?
exclusive. I know that's been a big topic with everybody lately, is the whole exclusivity of what is it? It being on the Epic Game Store. And a lot of games, I hear from a lot of people that I hang out with that Epic Games is the devil for doing what they're doing, making games exclusive to their platform.
Blue Psycho, sorry.
And everybody's losing their...
I don't really care. Like, it's not something that I really personally care about. It's not something that I'm... It doesn't bother me, I guess. I know it bothers a lot of our friends. I know a few of our friends that are, like, anti-fucking Epic Store. They hate Epic Store. Epic Store's the worst thing on the planet. And I'm just like, but I play games.
Well, people need
to do really good with whatever I'm on. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me, really.
Well, people need to understand it's big business. You know, it's like I keep telling people, it's like when McDonald's releases the McRib, okay, every year. All right, why do they do it twice a year? Why? Why do they do it after Thanksgiving and after Christmas time? Well, because they know they're going to make a lot of money when they make it an exclusive thing. It's kind of like how Borderlands is going to work on Epic Game Store. It's going to be exclusive for a while, so they'll make their money, and the developer will make a hell of a lot of money because they're giving 80% of the pie to the developer. You got to think of it in that aspect. That's why a lot of these companies are signing exclusive deals for a certain amount of time with Epic Games, because they're making a lot of money. I mean, Epic Games is giving developers 80% of a pie, whereas Steam is giving you, 50 or 60%?
I think it's 60, 70.
So it's kind of like, which way did the developer go? Do you go with more money or do you go with the norm? And a lot of people are upset because a lot of these companies are going outside of the box and going with Epic Games. And a lot of people are losing their shit because they don't want this to become a monopoly like, console exclusives. Because what we know about console exclusives, you're tied into having to buy a console to go out and buy these exclusives. And my thing is it was bound to happen anyway. This was bound to happen with the game stores to begin with.
Are you okay there, right?
You okay, man? You look like you're ready to take your keyboard and throw it across the room.
No, I keep getting scared because I'm in this I'm in this like really really dark basement right now, right, looking for this key. And as I'm walking around, these motherfuckers using stealth boys keep just popping out of nowhere. I swear I'm not about to piss my pants.
Are you sure?
Well, the only other thing we can really talk about is the Galaxy Fold situations, but...
Yay, the Galaxy Fold! Whoa! I can't wait to have one, Knots.
Make sure not to take off that screen protector now. There goes your phone.
That is the stupidest shit on the fucking planet, dude. I think foldable phones have been, they have been the way of the dodo for years, dude. Like they were having issues where like if you open and close it too much with the Razr phones, the ribbon cable would shorten out and it would knock out your display. And I went through like 3 phones that were like that. So I was like, foldable phones to me just aren't worth it. They never will be.
Well,
with a foldable screen, it's even worse.
Well, what Samsung didn't do, which I think they should have done, is on these review devices, they should have put "Don't peel the screen protector off." Now, on the retail version, it says that on the very back of the phone, it says, "Do not have your phone in a dusty." It says it on the phone itself. Do not peel the protector off or have it in a dusty environment. And you know what? If any phone says that, if any phone manufacturer says that, that tells me they didn't do their research. Like whoever's their testing development team didn't do a good job. And the Samsung phone has been delayed now at this point. Because don't get me wrong, I think foldable phones are a good idea in theory. I think combining the tablet and the phone thing is a good idea in theory. It's just not executed right. I mean, Samsung wanted to be the first one out the gate to say they did it because a Huawei, and you even said this to me, Burnstone, Xiaomi's working on something of a foldable phone. And I've seen Xiaomi's foldable phone. It looks really nice. How it folds. It's not... It doesn't fold. And I think the Game Talks podcast just went into a buffering screen for me.
I'm not sure about the idea of just having a...
I don't know, did we just lose connection to it?
No, we're still connected. Everything's still fine.
Okay.
Hi, hello, Game Talks podcast. Is this you?
Okay, I'm refreshing. Okay.
Hello.
Hello?
Alright, I refreshed. It's all good now.
Oh, so very good to see you.
Oh, it's so very good to see you. How are you doing this morning?
How are you?
Was there anything else that we need to talk about, Brimstone?
Let's see. You could get currently a Dell Gaming LED lit monitor, 27-inch, 144 hertz, free sync.
So about 30 to 45 minutes ago, my left leg has gone entirely numb.
What he's not telling you, it's his second left leg. That's gone completely numb.
Very much my second.
Oh my god.
You see, I have to.
I will say this, any new games we've been playing, guys? Any of us here?
I recently got into... let's see, I've been playing off and on with Metro and Landon. God damn it. Landon and fucking Ryth and his brother, we were playing Risk of Rain 2 like maniacs like almost all week last week.
I just got that game.
See, now we got more people to add to the group. So that game's actually really fun. I really love that game a lot.
I blame all you fuckers. What is?
All you want. That game's fun as hell.
Excuse me, I just burped. Sorry. What's that on the side of the screen there? It says a Kickstarter for a game that is basically hentai Mass Effect has raised over $1 million. What the fuck, man? The fuck? You gotta click on that article. Is that real?
You don't know about this? I think I talked to you about this the other day.
I didn't know that was a real thing.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
Yes, dude. I saw this on Steam and I was laughing my ass off. The other night when I was laughing my ass off and you're like, "What the fuck are you watching?" I'm like, I said I was watching an adult version of gaming. These guys were making a game, and it was pretty sexual, and you're just like, oh, and you never asked any
And
more
they
about
raised
it.
$1 million.
Yes,
Jesus,
sir.
those are some thirsty individuals, man. Holy shit.
I fuck with Division.
Hell yeah.
Those could be some high res titties, bro. You don't know.
Oh my god.
high res titties.
I'd pay for some high res titties and some vape juice right about now.
Ubisoft donates $500K to help to restore Notre Dame. Okay.
Yeah, and on top of that, they gave out Unity.
Yep.
What's going on?
They did. They gave away Unity for free.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, I think you can still get a copy for free.
It's on till the 27th, so I think so.
And all the clicks that they get, all the people that download it, they give away. They're giving money to the relief funds for the whole Notre Dame thing that burnt down, or half of it burnt down. We don't even know yet. It was arson. Was it not arson?
Right. Huh.
Somebody apparently said that they saw somebody on top of the building before the fire happened. I remember somebody talking about that.
No, I think that was me to you.
Was it?
Yeah. They're saying now there's video footage now of some guy going up and starting a spark before it even happened. Now they're saying it was an accident. It was just it was a spark that when they were working on the building, it sparked and started a fire. And they're saying somebody was on top of the roof starting a fire. We'll find out more and more as the weeks go by on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to think that nothing fishy happened there, but at the same time, very well could happen something.
Oh, and by the way, guys, if you guys didn't know this, Apex Legends viewers have gone down by 75%. There you go.
That's it for murdering my fucking main, shitheads.
Why? What happened with your main? I gotta hear this now.
If I remember correctly, one of the cool things about her is that she had a faster healing time than the others because she simply was a medic, and I think they got rid of that.
Really?
So now,
why would you do that? That makes no damn sense.
I don't fucking know.
What character is that?
Lifeline.
Lifeline.
I think that's what one of my friends told me. If it's not true, then he's a retard.
He's a retard?
Let's see, the next Xbox will be better than the PS5.
Will it though?
Well, time will tell. We haven't even seen what these new consoles are going to be like to begin with.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like until we see E3, like I'll say this in the podcast. I think personally they're going to release these consoles this year. And then I've had people tell me, "Oh, it's going to be next year." I think it's going to be this year. I think it's going to be sooner than we expect. Because AMD's already stated that they're already in productions already of Zen 3 chips already. And Navi chips already. So it tells me that these consoles are going to be here sooner than later. Because they're already testing the waters right now with an all-digital Xbox One S. So that tells me that they're testing the waters now to see how many people buy it, to see if their xCloud service is going to be where it's at. But
interesting.
I can go on for days about the whole Xbox and the PS5. I think it's going to be $500. I may buy the Xbox new one whenever they release it, just because, like I said earlier, is because of the catalog I have that I bought in digital. That would be the only reason.
So
because I spent so much money on the Xbox One alone just on digital content. And Xbox Game Pass and EA Access.
Interesting.
Well, haven't you, Brimstone, though, too, in a way? Bought a lot of digital and.
Oh God, yes. I've blown a lot of money on digital shit, dude. Like, oh, dude, like, I'm scared to find out what my Xbox is worth.
I'm tied in. I was thinking the other day, like, these new consoles that are coming out. I'm kind of going to be tied into the whole Xbox ecosystem when the new one comes out because of all the digital content that I bought. And two, the Xbox is great. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the Xbox for two reasons. One, I could take my Xbox into another room and start playing.
Right.
Where the PC, I need like Steam Link or carry my PC into another room.
Yeah.
And that's where the Xbox. That's why I still like my consoles, because I can carry them place to place, and it's not a big ordeal. Or I can buy another one for another room and be golden at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the PS5. I think they're asking way too much money for the console. If it's gonna be $500 to $550, if the leaks are right.
Right.
And two, my thing is, I'm not ready for cloud gaming yet. I'm not prepared or ready for it, especially with the infrastructure of the internet. If they're going that way next generation too, and two, you're asking me for a lot of money as it is for Xbox Live, EA Access. Then you add the cloud gaming service that Xbox is doing and Stadia and all that, right? That's a lot of nickeling and diming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Microsoft goes the way of Family Plan, where you can have their cloud service, Xbox Live, and Game Pass all in one tie-in. And then you can have like a family plan where you pay like maybe like what, $25 a month.
Yeah.
And you can have up to a certain amount of people on your account and whatnot. I think that would be cool.
Agreed.
At this point in time, I don't think anyone has like good enough internet for those like purely cloud service type things to really take off.
Well, here's my problem with the internet infrastructure in the States. It's not the download that's the problem. It's the upload. Most internet providers, because I need upload because, I do video editing and I throw videos up and I do streaming. I wish like a lot of these companies would come out with bigger bandwidths for upload. Like I'm only getting 25 up or 24. Some of my friends are getting 400 up, 600 up. It's like, why can't I get that? I keep asking Spectrum all the time. Why can you guys? We don't feel that. We feel like most. They say this to you over the phone. Most customers don't need all that bandwidth for uploading. In their beliefs, they think 5 upload is good enough. And it's like, what are you guys smoking? 5 is not going to get you there in this day and age, especially now. 4K and 8K are becoming a thing down the line. Bandwidth is going to need to go up, to support all that down the road.
Most definitely.
I mean, if the PlayStation, I get it. If the PlayStation and Xbox are going to do upscale to 8K, your audio is messing up. It sounds like you're talking into a speaker.
I think they're talking to you because you're on your phone.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm using my HyperX Cloud headset, so do apologize.
Fucking speaker.
Fucking speaker. It's really that bad? I'll switch to my Apple earbuds if you like.
No, that's fine.
I apologize to everybody in the stream if you've been hearing me sound like I'm in a speaker or like a trash can. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. We're coming up on that hour anyways.
This the HyperX 2s for you, okay? Cloud 2s, that's for you.
It's all good.
The mic sounds like it's in a trash can.
So is there anything else you guys want to cover, or are we good?
So when I was really young, Metro touched me.
Touched you with his voice across the internet.
It is very HD and graphic.
Now, when you say HD, are we talking like hard, deep penetration, or?
Are we talking Janet Jameson bad?
Hard and
We're
deep?
talking no. We're
Hard,
talking
deep
like
HD or what?
we're talking like Riley Reid Blacked, bro.
Oh man!
Wow! Jesus!
Wow! Oh my god!
Oh god. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and let XP take us off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you thumbs up if you liked for Ryth to be in here, or thumbs down if you think he's gay.
Also, put a finger in Brimstone's ass. Just kidding.
Oh, la, 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 la,
Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. I'm just kidding.
Give Brimstone the thumbing.
The thumbing. The thumbing of thumbings.
Oh, and also make sure to hit the bell icon so you get reminded that Game Talks goes live.
Yes. Cock slap the bell.
Hard slap the bell.
I said cock slap.
Cock slap the bell. Oh my god. It's fucking savage.